That under the rules that the governor has ordered for public meetings, the Honorable Dr. Lamar White, the Honorable Dr. Diane Kelly, and Miss Linda Vanchek are conducting this meeting by phone, and the Honorable Dewey Destin will not be present today due to personal reasons. So with that being said, also a reminder, school board members on the phone, please mute your phone until you're called upon or unless you want to ask a question. So with that being said, let's go to item 2, which will be the approval to the agenda. Any changes to the agenda and approval of agenda. Item 3, we have no recognition. Item 4, at this time we have no visitors. Item 5, administrative personnel appointments, none. Item 6 will be public comment. Members of the public desiring to address the school board. And again, we will have the phone lines open on Monday night for anybody wishing to address the school board if they choose not to actually come to the school board meeting. Item 7, committee and staff reports. Ms. Scallon, anything on those? Okay. And then we'll move down to consent agenda. Item 8.1 will be the approval of the consent agenda. Item 8.2, approval of the minutes of the workshop meeting of April 23rd, 2020, minutes of the regular meeting of April 27, 2020. Item 8.3, appropriation of District 3 School Board member capital outlay funds to Florosa Elementary School for classroom flooring in the amount of $22,253.46. Presented by Ms. Linda Vanchek and recommended by the superintendent for approval. Item 8.4, appropriation of District 5 School Board member capital outlay funds to Lewis School for hallway flooring in the amount of $25,226, presented by Dr. Diane Kelly. 8.5, invoices to be approved for payment, presented by Ms. Rita Scallon. 8.6, school donations. 8.7, renewal of tag-on bid 20-968-153-RN bleacher repair and motorization, presented by Vince Wyndham. School board members, just so you know, Mr. Wyndham is in the waiting room if you have any questions for him on the next few items. 8.8, tag-on bid purchase over $25,000, Apple Incorporated. 8.9, exempted purchase over $25,000, Study Edge. 8.10, amendment to service agreement number 20-05, David Bricker. Item 8.11, Okaloosa STEM Academy course adoption for the 2020-2021 school year, presented by Denise Berry. 8.12, suspension of foreign exchange student program for the 2020-2021 school year, presented by Lisa Tucker, foreign exchange student coordinator. And school board members, we actually have a request, and I'm sure y'all got the letter that was sent yesterday. There is a request that we might move this item off of the agenda for discussion. Before we get started, I think Mr. Chambers would like to speak upon this.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant, and school board members. I think you know Ms. Lightbourne sent each of you individually just a little fact sheet on the foreign exchange student program. And I think we all know we value the foreign exchange student program. I think it's a very valuable program that we have, and one that we are proud to offer students who want to come to the States and who specifically want to come to Okaloosa County and be a part of the foreign exchange student program. So we, once again, value that and we're proud of it. But in light of where we are right now, this comes before you to suspend the foreign exchange student program for the 2020-2021 school year. And on the fact sheet that Ms. Lightbourne sent yesterday, just a few things that I just want to highlight. One, the CDC they've offered some guidance as well. And the CDC recommends institutes of higher ed to consider postponing or canceling upcoming student foreign exchange programs. And we thought that if that is something that is also happening for higher ed, that is something that we should take into account as well. Other districts across the state of Florida are also taking a similar step as we are considering to come before you, and that are counties like Pasco and St. John's as well. The other piece is host families need answers, and the deadline for those answers is June 30th, and we won't necessarily have answers for that. And of course, I think we all know, we anticipate starting the school year off in August next year, but what that will look like, we don't necessarily know right now. So there's a lot of unknowns, and then just for the safety of students who would be coming, and of course the safety of our students as well, we are bringing before you to suspend the foreign exchange program reluctantly and sadly for the 2020-2021 school year.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chambers. I'm going to start with Ms. Ivanchek. You have any questions or comments regarding 8.12?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, this is just another way that our students have been adversely affected by this pandemic. As a former classroom teacher for many years, I had several different foreign exchange students in my classes. It was always a great experience. It was good not only for that student, but for my students who were local. And I really hate that we're having to make this decision, but I certainly understand the cautions, and I appreciated what Ms. Lightbourne sent to us, because it really spelled it out in that. And again, I think the program's great. I'm glad that we are not eliminating the program, and I want the public to understand that we are just suspending it, meaning that we can look at it in the future. And I think this is probably the right time, because it's my understanding that at this point we don't have a large number, or just a couple of students in the process of going through the motions, so that's not going to adversely affect many students. But again, just my testimony of what a great program this is, and one that I'm looking forward to us continuing when it's safe for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ivanchek. Dr. Kelly, any comments on 8.12?
I just say that I ditto the idea that it is a great program, and certainly the benefits cut both ways, both for the exchange student and for the students who are exposed to other cultures. But I do have to concur that with so many unknowns, it would be just quite devastating if either the foreign exchange students were impacted by the coronavirus, or some visitor to our country exposed our students or our professional educators to a virus. So I think that at this point in time, it's best to be cautious. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Dr. White, any comments to 8.12?
Well, just a procedural question, Mr. Chairman. Has this item been moved to discussion, and or is the superintendent considering removing this item?
It has not. I believe, from what I understand, that would be up to one of us to ask that to be moved over to discussion. If not, then it can stay on the agenda, and we will vote for it on Monday night as is.
And Dr. White, I am not. I'm sorry, and Dr. White, I am not removing it.
All right. So I understand then this item at this time is a recommendation, and it is sitting on the consent agenda. However, certainly it can be moved to discussion at a later time.
Yes, sir.
No, I don't have any further comment unless on Monday night there needs to be a comment, particularly if it's moved to discussion. Okay. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. White. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll move down to item 8.13, Title II, Part A, Teacher and Principal Training and Recruiting Fund, 2020 through 2021 grant application. Okay, now we're going to move down to Section 9, Superintendent's Human Resource Recommendations. And Dr. Hale is available if you have any questions. We'll start with 9.1, employees on administrative leave. 9.2, deferred retirement option program. 9.3, add a field report for the 2019-2020 school year. 9.4, employment separations. 9.5, personnel recommendations. And 9.6, leave without pay. Okay. Item 10 is discussion agenda, if any. We'll know Monday. Item 11, construction program owners representatives business. Mr. Destin is not here today for personal reasons. So, Mr. Horton, do you have anything you would like to add to that? Okay, thank you. Item 12, we have nothing there. Item 13, attorney's business. Mr. McInnes.
No report this morning.
Okay. Item 14, superintendent's business. Mr. Chambers.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So first of all, I just wanted to start with a few recognitions. And I think we all know that on May 1st, we celebrated National Principals Day. And we sent some information out honoring our principals for the work that they do, and especially in the midst of this pandemic, the way that they've carried themselves, the professionalism, and the way that they've carried themselves has been second to none. And absent this pandemic, our principals have always done a fantastic job leading, taking care of their teachers and support professionals, students, and families. So just really want to say, we value and appreciate all that our principals do each and every day. And I like to say it's like when you're a principal, you are the mayor of a small town, and they do an amazing job. And then I'd also like to, and I'm sure a lot of our board members will also kind of echo these sentiments. As we all know, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. And we are fortunate here in Okaloosa County to have what I believe, and I'm sure you all believe as well, some of the best teachers, not only in the state but in the nation. And we have teachers who each and every day go above and beyond for their students and their families. But in the midst of this pandemic, they are truly doing a remarkable job. Not only are they switching from a face-to-face model to something that's not as normal for some of them, to a virtual model, but they are truly doing it in a way where the students are at the heart of the decisions that they're making. When you look at teachers who are not only doing the virtual education, they're also doing Zoom meetings one-on-one or in small groups to help kids understand a single concept. To me, that's remarkable. Teachers who are going out into communities for parades just to put a smile on a kid's face, to me, that's remarkable. Or just going above and beyond to be there for an encourager for the parent, because as we all know, the parents, this is completely new and different for them as well. So I think this is a different Teacher Appreciation Week than any other than we've had in many, many years, obviously, but I just couldn't give enough praise to our teachers. Our seniors, just wanted to give you a heads up, and we'll be getting this information out to you, but we will be sending a letter home to our senior students and our senior parents outlining some of the things that we believe that we can do. But before that letter goes out, we'll be getting you that information in terms of what some of those plans are. There's a few details that are still being tweaked, and as soon as that is done, we hope to get that out to board members today, so you know exactly what's going on, and then we'll be sending that home to our students and to our parents. As you know, we did send the survey home, and the overwhelming, I believe it was almost, we had three options, A, B, and C, and the quick summary, option A, was to have some form of a modified ceremony on school grounds at a time where with CDC guidelines we could do it safely. That was one option. Another option was to do it virtually, And then another option was a mixture of the two, but the ceremony being sometime in the fall. Students, 82% of them would like to do option A, which is to figure out how to have some form of a ceremony on campus this summer. And parents, 84% of them want that. Over 1,600 individuals between parents and students completed the survey. So we feel as though it went out to everybody, and over 1,600 responded, so we appreciate that. And I've also received some messages of those who did not complete the survey but still gave their input. So we feel like we're in a pretty good place, but once the final details get tweaked, we will get that information to you, and then we will send out that information to our parents and students. And then just wanted to give the board a heads up on the Auntie Mitchell Awards. We are working through a way to make sure that we honor all of the Auntie Mitchell Award recipients, but specifically the next board meeting, we will recognize each school's individual Peggy Bruner Award winner, and then we will also announce at the next board meeting the overall Peggy Bruner Award winner. And this is a huge honor for the student who wins this. And as you know, Mr. Bruner, who always presents this award, we've reached out to him to still present this award that he does in honor of his mother. So we think that this is a big deal. He's going to be involved, so we're excited about that. But we're also excited that we'll announce the winner at the next board meeting. And board members, there will be more that we will be doing for the Auntie Mitchell Award winners, but this gives you just a little bit of information.
Thank you. School board members, anything for Mr. Chambers that you might want to ask? Okay, hearing none, so let's go to school board members' announcements. And Dr. Kelly, I'll start with you this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to add a very special happy Mother's Day to all of our professional educators who work from home now and who are serving not only as full-time moms and homemakers and the chief chef and study guide, but also teachers as well. So I think this Mother's Day comes with an extra special kudo to our educators who are also mothers. So happy Mother's Day to all of our teachers out there. I'd also like to send out a few kudos to our school administrators for acknowledging their teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week. I think that I saw some of the most creative ideas from school-based administrators to go out into the communities, in some cases to the homes and lawns of their faculty members to acknowledge their being rock stars, particularly as they are learning to Zoom with their students and teach at a distance. So I think both of those things, happy Mother's Day to our educators and kudos to our school-based administrators for acknowledging their teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week. And that's all I have. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Ms. Ivanchek.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to kind of echo what Dr. Kelly said. I've seen a lot of things on social media where principals and assistant principals drove a couple hundred miles or so to get around to all the houses where their faculty live to put signs in, and I think they've gone way out of their way to recognize these teachers who are so deserving, and I appreciate that. Also want to mention that today is the National Day of Prayer. Certainly we are praying for our school district and also in our nation. Also, I'd like to, in reference to the citizens' request and the fact that we do not have one of our board members with us today, I'd like to revisit that 8.12 and have that moved to the discussion agenda, please.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Vanchek. So noted.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Vanchek. Okay, Dr. White.
Well, no, Mr. Bryan, I really don't have anything to add to all the things that have already been said. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. White. And my comment goes with the National Day of Prayer. I am really excited that the city of Crestview and the business community up there is going to be doing a community drive-through prayer vigil tonight at Old Spanish Trail Park. And I have been asked by the mayor to say a prayer over the schools and the students and the parents. So I'm really excited about doing that tonight. That event starts at 6 o'clock. It will be a drive-in prayer service. So I'm really excited to be a part of that. And I would too also echo the fact that our teachers, our principals, how everybody is coming together during this time like no other I've ever seen before. So it is just quite an honor just to be able to see the coming together and how our schools have handled this situation. It's just been an awesome experience to see. All right, so we'll move to 16, which will be public comment. And let's see, Rita, anything? Steve? Okay, this meeting's adjourned.